I was driving home from work late one night, and the road was deserted. The only light came from my headlights, which cut through the darkness like twin knives. I was tired, and my mind started to wander. I thought about all the things I had to do the next day. I had a meeting at work, and I needed to go grocery shopping. I also had to finish a project that was due the next week. As I drove, I started to feel drowsy. I fought to stay awake, but it was no use. My eyes started to close, and I felt myself drifting off. Suddenly, I woke up with a start. I had veered off the road and was heading straight for a tree. I swerved to avoid it, but I was too late. The car hit the tree head-on, and I was thrown through the windshield. I landed on the ground with a thud. I was dazed and confused, but I was alive. I slowly got to my feet and looked around. The car was totaled, but I was uninjured.
I started to walk down the road, hoping to find help, but the road was endless. There was no one in sight. I started to panic. I was alone in the middle of nowhere, and I didn't know what to do. I could hear the sound of my own breathing, and it seemed to echo in the darkness. I kept walking, hoping that I would eventually find someone. But the road just went on and on. After a while, I started to hallucinate. I saw things that weren't there. I saw people walking towards me, but they disappeared when I got closer. I was starting to lose my mind. I was exhausted, and I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I sat down on the side of the road and started to cry. I didn't know how much longer I could keep going. Suddenly, I heard a noise. I looked up, and I saw a figure standing in the distance. The figure was tall and thin, and it was wearing a long black coat. Its face was hidden in the shadows, but I could see its eyes. They were glowing red.
I was terrified. I didn't know what to do. I just sat there and stared at the figure. The figure started to walk towards me. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest. I was so scared that I couldn't move. The figure got closer and closer. I could see its face now. It was a hideous face with sharp teeth and a twisted grin. The figure stopped in front of me. It reached out its hand, and I felt its cold, clammy fingers on my skin. I screamed, and then I woke up. I was in my bed, and the sun was shining through the window. I got out of bed and went to the window. I looked out, and I saw the road.
The road was empty. There was no sign of the figure. I didn't know what to think. Was it real? Or was it just a dream? I didn't know, but I knew one thing. I would never forget the night I drove down the road to nowhere.